Hello, hello. Today I want to talk about continuing my streak of videos here is letting things happen. This has been a process for me my whole life. I feel like you have to let things happen in the time that they're meant to happen. However, sometimes and most of the time it feels like things happen at the exact time that you don't want them to happen or at the exact time that you aren't expecting them to happen. I think that's the nature of reality. E exactly what you don't think will happen at the time that you don't expect it to happen. And that's just because the universe is inherently chaotic. Um, it's artistic to let things happen, um, because, I mean, just from my experience, you have to let things happen. You have to let things, um, come together and form and um, it takes time for things to come together. It's like things have been coming together for millions of years just so you exist. I mean, it's been happening ever since the beginning of consciousness, which was the um, essentially it's things have been coming together and forming different creations and forms for the last billion years. And finally, we find ourselves in this form, whatever form this means. It's like, what is a form if no one is aware of it? Nothing. I mean, only because you are aware does form itself exist. Or the only reason that any form exists is because someone at some point was aware of it. Which is strange to think, but this applies to much. I mean, there's nothing bigger than form. I mean, the formless might be bigger than form. The formless, whatever unmanifested energies are within you as you go through your day, just be present of them, I think, because I don't know. Um, once you're present of the formless nature within yourself, there's a piece that is formless within you that you manifest the world with every day wherever you go. It's like the state of the universe is inherently love, and what can you make of it? What can you make of your own experience going through it every day? And what can you become aware of that you allow to happen over a larger period of time? It's like, what is the biggest thing that you can allow to happen over a large period of time? After a while, you just realize everything is just motion, everything is just energy. And we get into these patterns of letting things happen that shouldn't happen, that's for sure. But letting things happen is essentially letting things go, which is the most artistic thing you can do. It's like all artists, no matter what your medium is, you are letting things go. I mean, like you're creating something and you're saying, "This is my beautiful creation." You could have spent a lot more time on it. You could have done anything different, but you didn't. You made something and then you let it go. And just because you called it something instead of what you believed it could be, you essentially any artistic creation is the letting go of a part of yourself. And it's like, I made this picture, I made this drawing, I made this video. Anything you make is a piece of yourself that you let go out into the universe. And if you get really good at letting go, then essentially you find your simplistic and eternal essence free from everything that you've let go of. It's like, what is the biggest thing that you can let go of? I mean, you don't need anything. It's just like all you really need is food and water um and love and company and people around you. But after that, it's like you're just diving into yourself, wondering why things are the way they are. But you can get really good at letting go, which is strange to think how much we can practice letting go. I mean, let go of everything that you don't need. Just do it right now. You'll be much happier. And I've done I you get into the practice of this, but I mean, you can't let go of everything. You need money to live. You need money to do certain things, and you can't let go of like all your money, but let go of everything that is not essential to a beautiful future. Because if something's just do it. Just let go of whatever you're holding on to. There's no reason to hold on to literally anything. I mean, even people are art pieces. It's like if you have a child, you have to let them go, just like an art piece. It's like, bye. You were never really mine. You were never really mine to possess. You were never mine to own. Or I what I you help people create themselves over like a large period of time, but and that's what it means to be like a parent or something, but essentially you never are able to possess anything. I mean, like, you can pretend to possess people, or you can pretend to be, I don't know. I mean, like, letting go of love is a practice in finding peace within yourself. It's like I let go of any um what is it called? Let go of any prerequisites or expectations you have of finding love. And then eventually you'll find that maybe you will find love. Or maybe you will find um, a whore. No, maybe you will find somebody to love if you let go of love. So let go of your love, and then it'll always come back to you, I think. That's like the energy of the universe. Whatever love you send out will come back to you in some way. So continuously practice loving and letting go of the love that you see around you. Or like, just being an artist. That's what it means to be an artist, essentially. You're making something that you love, and then you're letting it go. It's like, I held you here and I loved you so much. You were something that I loved so dearly, and then suddenly, poof, you're somebody else's, or I sold you. It's kind of fucked up if you think about it that way. It's like, I make all these characters and I believe they're real, and then I sell them. It's like you're an artist, but it's a strange thing to be an artist because you're essentially your practice more deeply from a deeper perspective is um, self-discovery. It's like you're discovering something that is a part of yourself, and then you're letting it go. It's like, hey, I discovered this, everyone. I love it. You probably love it too. I mean, that's discovering something within yourself. I think most people view art as something that they create that is a part of themselves, but most people don't realize how everything is connected to themselves. So they're just like, I made something, but it's kind of cool that it's like there's naive, that you don't have to know what everything is. I mean, it gets kind of crazy that it's like this art piece could be anything. I'm gonna buy this art piece, and then it's gonna like jump out at me. I mean, like, it's not, but letting things go, how to not hold on to anything, and how to get comfortable just within your own body and mind and soul and spirit and all that you are, your essence of who you are. And then you don't need anyone to make you happy or bring you peace, because you are the happiness and peace that you are seek within yourself. It's like you don't need anything to you don't allow anybody to make you happy or sad, or I mean, people do make you happy and sad, but don't give the privilege to anyone who doesn't deserve it. It's like, yeah, you made me happy or you made me sad, but I mean, it's not like you're going to be controlling my emotions. You're not going to be the one who's telling me what to do. Emotions are a strange thing to let go of too, because you're letting go of something that is feels so childish and beautiful and like innocent and wonderful. It's like you're not letting go of your emotions, you're just becoming more human, or like more of an adult or something. Look at my teeth. Um, we let go of people too, you gotta let go of people, but we can also get really connected to people. It's like, I'm really connected to people. Um, it's strange. Just don't have any. Don't become attached to things. Material objects are easy to become attached to. I think that's the biggest reason why attachment and materialism has gone so out of control. It's like, just let go of all the stuff. Like, it won't make you happy. There's no way it could. It's like, I think we're slowly realizing that, but everybody's kind of like still slowly becoming aware of the nature of reality, which is inherently filled with love and happiness most of the time. It's like, it's not it's not as bad as it seems. Things will get better, and happiness arises from within. No object can bring you happiness unless you allow it to. It's like, all right, there's something that I created, or something that I love, or something that I care about. Then I allow it to bring me happiness, just like another person. I mean, you're giving that something power over you. Most people do that unconsciously, though. They're just like, I need all these things in my life. I need these lamps. I need this to look a certain way. And it's like, that's true, but you might be happier if you were in some different situation, or you did something different, or just don't become attached to things like objects, situations, any time. Don't become attached to, I mean, be present, but you don't have to be attached to everything. I mean, it's not that you aren't loving everything. It feels like if you love everything, you're kind of attached to everything. But you can love everything in the present without becoming attached to it. I think love itself is a practice in letting things go. It's like, I love you, so I let you go. Um, just letting things go whenever they desire to. You can't hold somebody against their will. Um, you can't like say, I need you to stay. I mean, like, you can try and you can love people and want them to stay, but letting things go is a beautiful art. It also is kind of a dark art. It's like, all that I've created, I let go. It's like, it's not that I disliked it. It's not that I grew feelings for new things. It's that I realized that I didn't need them to be happy. And I found a higher level, or a higher um, awareness of happiness within myself, to the point where I didn't need objects or material goods to be happy. I mean, we all need some level of comfort. We all desire some level of um, comfort, like this house that I'm in. It's like, this is a nice house. This is like a good. I mean, it's like, I will never be homeless if I don't want to be. I mean, I have family and friends who are able to accommodate me. And I mean, I'm not that big of a nuisance most of the time. But anyway, the point is that you can be happy within yourself with very little. I think people who have a lot of money don't often realize how attached they've become to the things around them, and then they seek happiness in something that isn't going to bring them happiness. Like, it might, I mean, it could work that way someday, but I hope not. It's like this phone isn't gonna bring me happiness. I'm just making this video for fun. I don't have and I want to explain to myself how I let things go throughout my whole life, because it's been like a long process of learning to let things go and not caring what happens, not caring what uh, people think, not caring, letting go of all your fears is important. Definitely let go of all your fears. Don't be making your fears up in your head all the time. Like, you're just making them up and making them up and making them up. It's like, I have a new fear, a new fear, a new fear. Don't do that. There's no reason to be that fearful of anything. I mean, it won't do you any good. Worrying is useless, essentially. You don't have to worry about anything. You shouldn't worry about anything. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about. Only time to make the positive changes that we need to make as a society, as a people, as a awareness. I mean, like, we need to increase our awareness in the certain aspects of life, and as we become aware, we slowly become something different than we were before. Like, consciousness takes a new form, and we let go of our previous conceptions and find ourselves in a more peaceful place in the present with a new idea of what things can be and what things are. It's kind of like throughout our whole history, we didn't really realize the truth of everything, or maybe I'm just talking here for no reason and it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. I can let it go that easily. I just let this whole thing go. Doesn't matter. But I think that to be someone, to be an individual is important. It's a practice. Becoming an individual, a unique individual, an artistic individual, a imaginative individual is a practice in letting go. You're letting go of the aspects of yourself that you do not desire, and that makes you more happily aware within yourself. It's like, I want to be this happy all the time. And then it's like, yeah, you can totally do that if you foster your own self and bodily awareness into what you want them to be. Like, create your own mind, let go of the aspects and the patterns that control you, and find yourself as a person who is enlightened in some sense, or above thought, unencumbered by any desire to think about things for more time than is necessary, free of worry, free of fear and emotion, free of time, free of let go of time. You don't need to have a conception of time. I mean, you can have a conception of time, but it's like, don't let it program your mind. It's like time will continuously just knock on your door, like, hey, notification, notification, hey, hey, there's a notification, hello. It's like, okay, I hear you, but that's just a certain amount of time. It's like, everything's just a frequency that I'm perceiving. It's not anything. Time is real, but it would be much better if it wasn't. Because if we just didn't believe in time, then we'd have forever. Or at least we'd believe we had forever, which is close. Or maybe that's what it is. Anyway, letting things go. What else can you let go? Space as well. I mean, letting go of time is letting go of space in some sense. It's like, let yourself be the pattern that you are, whatever pattern you are, whatever consciousness, whatever frequency, whatever you are, just let yourself be that. And no matter if you're happy or not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, just you can only ever be yourself. You can only ever create yourself. You can create other people, but not from like a real point of view. Like you can make people, like I'm gonna have sex and like have a baby. I made somebody. Yes, you did, but you also allowed a new awareness of consciousness to form. It's like something that is people are not just owned by anybody, they're part of consciousness. And they inherently have to be let go of eventually. Like even the most beautiful people are going to die. You have to let them go. It's kind of sad, but letting things go is hard to do, but people die. Everything has to be let go of eventually. And it's not really anybody's choice. It's kind of like the choice of who dies next is kind of almost unconscious. It's like there's this big pattern of consciousness moving that is the whole planet. Everybody's moving in situations and energy is flowing and people are making love and everything is happening. And within all that, things happen, which it's like the butterfly effect. Like somebody could die just because somebody was mowing the lawn and a piece of grass went flying and a car swerved off the road, and then the you know time was like messed up and somebody missed their bus and wasn't able to call somebody in Japan, and then suddenly they because somebody was missed their call in Japan, and then the child whose father forgot to call her was um, kidnapped, and that's terrible. And then she died because they killed her because they didn't get the ransom money. Um, and that's pretty dark but and random. But point is that she died because it was completely random. Like nobody's in control of when God lets people die. Like, oh, I'm God. I'm gonna like. Sometime people have to die. I'm not in charge of that though. I think it's like a no one's in charge of who dies. It's just that people die and get diseases, and it's strange that you can trace the reasons for things in the synchronistic universe and within levels of uncertainty to find the root cause of why something happened causally within your own mind. It's like this is causally the reason why something happened in my time. So why did it happen in your time? It's like I believe it was because of this, or believe like some trace has to be present about why things actually happened. But if you trace the reason why everything happened, or everything continues to happen, or events happen, back to the beginning, it's something strangely arbitrary. It's like cells in a pool of primordial soup that are just like that's the reason why everything happened. Like cells evolved, and then I don't think that's the reason why everything happened, but it only seems arbitrary. In reality, it was the birth of all love in the universe. Something arbitrary. We call it arbitrary. It's like we have to let go of this notion of materialism, believing that something unconscious created all of the love in the universe, which is not true. I think it was the Big Bang and then the birth of life. Both of those events, as we'll call them, were the integral and beautifully perfect beginnings of the stories and songs of the consciousness that we see today, that I am a part of, and that we all are. I think that's a much more beautiful theory than, oh, there's just like particles out there. We don't know how we formed from them, but I have no idea. It's like, that's not only dumb, it's just not true. It's like, we're just like blowing ourselves up and like, yeah, let's just find all the particles, just like specify everything down until there's nothing left to specify. I mean, I understand people have nothing better to do and people are bored, but you gotta find something to find some beautiful theory for yourself that gives you some purpose going into the future and remaining happily in the present. It's like people look past themselves to find the answers to something. Only you can know the answer to anything within yourself. I think that's the biggest problem with like science, and I think that's a huge thing we have to let go of is this materialist nature and materialist um materialist science mind, like the minds or whatever. We have to let go of them because it's not beautiful. I mean, it's not fun. It's not anything that's, I don't know. Just let go of what doesn't make you happy. I think eventually we will let go of what we realize isn't making us happy. And then we'll have to face the hard reality of all of that, of all the things that we've held on to that we thought would make us happy but didn't. And it's like that's going to be a hard reality to face in some time or some place. Then I mean, once we realize the truth of how out of control materialism has gotten, I think it's gotten pretty crazy because it just has. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just gotten crazy. It's like everybody is desiring things that other people have. It's like your mind is the only thing that you really need to have a beautiful experience. It's like you can imagine anything. You can, I mean, people use their phones to connect with each other, but I wish there was a way to connect like mind to mind, but essentially everything is mind to mind. It is like even through a phone, it's like a mind to mind scenario. I don't know. We need to let go of that which is holding us back and everything that will not allow us to create a more beautiful earth and allow more stories to happen and allow less pain. I mean, not allow less pain, but you can allow people are in pain all the time. I mean, there's two people that die every second. I don't know. You gotta let it go. It's like, yeah, that could have been my future lover. Every 2 seconds, somebody that you thought was beautiful dies. It's like, damn, that's a lot of people. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is the scale of humanity. That we have a constant flow of death and life. Like 5 people are born every second, so it's like more life is happening than death is happening. But we just have to practice letting go, I think. Anyway, letting go of things that we no longer need within ourselves, within our minds, within our hearts, within our spirits. I think your spirit is spirit. I mean, materialism really seems to be a attack on the spirit because I always feel so fragmented by the materials around me that don't allow me to connect with people. It's like if she just let that go, like somebody that I could love, just let go of what she thought was the right thing to do, or what people thought was something that they needed to do or something, then I would be like, great, we can just like talk for like a year, or I just want somebody to like go hiking with for like a year and not care about money and just like live on like my food stamps or something, but I still think it could be, like, a beautiful year. I'm not asking anybody to do that because I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. Like, "Oh, yeah, you're just gonna, like, live with me and just, like, we're just gonna, like, talk and explore each other's minds and bodies for, like, a year, like, living in random places and going random places and finding things to do or something." It's kind of a weird thing to ask of somebody, but for me, it's like letting go of everything that's not made me happy. It's like I don't need anything to be happy. It's just like a book or a I want to be a part of things though, and I want to make more friends, and you'll never lose the you'll never lose that which I don't know. Materialism is never going to be completely gone because people like things and things exist, and it's hard to get around that. But finding love beyond what the materialist things that connect people, it's like, I love you for your car, or I love you for something that's outside of yourself, is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's like sad to see. It doesn't do anything for anybody. Like, let go of connections that don't mean anything. That's kind of the saddest thing about technology. It's like, yeah, we're texting. This communication stream between us means nothing. It's like there's no there's no emotion in it. There's no thought often put into it. I mean, like there's there's too much thought put into the text, and there's too much thought before you call somebody. There's too much time. You can make it whatever you want. It's like artificial. It's like, yeah, we're texting back and forth as if these texts explained anything of how I was actually feeling to you. It's like we need to let go of communication patterns that don't bring anybody happiness. I mean, technology in general doesn't bring me much happiness, but and I'm kind of like impartial to every technology now. I'm just like, I don't know if I really like it. I just want to be like kind of like one of the people who's just like weary about it for my own peace of mind. It's like solitude is bliss. I just want to be separated from this huge ball of insensitivity and uninformed communication that doesn't seem to have any depth. It's like you're the stream itself is so tiny. It's like the bandwidth of a text, two people texting, is like so small. It's like the smallest bandwidth that you can imagine. It's like doot 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 doot. That's the actual frequency that you're working with versus like I want to communicate with you. I want to talk to you. I want to like actually like, sing back and forth or something. Like that communicates so much more than a text stream, which is in reality like the sound of a text stream is just like and then we have like the sounds of it, but it's just like it's like we got to let go of and that's all relationships actually are just like the more you trust in relationships, all relationships essentially start like this. There's texting back and forth, and then you start, da 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 da. Yeah, actually, you're actually real. Oh my god, another real person. And then you start talking to each other. Hey, oh my god. Hey, how are you? And then you start like interacting with each other, going through the world. It's like you're like making music together or something. And then it's like then you start flowing together. And you start I mean like that's the basis of it, but it all starts from this place that we've accepted of like we're just gonna text back and forth. It's just gonna be like this is all I need to know what you're thinking. It's like you're putting way too much thought into it. I don't know. That's the problem with most technology. It's like you put way too much thought into this. I just want something, something stupid. I'm kidding. Let go of things. Letting go. Alright, this was about letting go. This is my video for the day. Bye-bye.